Hello, and welcome everyone, and welcome to this guest speaker slot. I've invited the beautiful Valerie Yamena Bay, who is a holistic reproductive health practitioner. And today she's come to my home here in North London to actually show you live how to use this scanning a setup that she has, which is called AO scan, and it picks up the energetic imbalances in the body. So I'm going to hand straight over to Valerie. I am just going to be her muse, and you're hopefully going to get an idea of what it would be like to have this scan done on yourself and have this experience. So over to you, Valerie.
Thank you, Claudia. Yes, so as Claudia was saying, that this is a scan. So essentially, it's not a diagnostic tool. So I'm just going to put that out there first and foremost. What it is that it picks up imbalances, nutritional deficiencies. Essentially, what it's doing, it's going up and picking up at all the areas of weaknesses in the body. And then it's going to feed back that essentially it's your body is communicating with the scan, and it's showing the scan, which via a report, what is actually up with you. So this is how you get to determine what all your diseases or illnesses are caused by. So there's a number of scans that I do, but the one I'm going to be doing on Claudia today is called the inner voice. And now what the inner voice does, essentially what we are is, because we are frequencies, the body is a frequency, we resonate all the time with everything about us because we're connected to nature. So essentially, because of the world we live in, a lot of us are out of balance. So what the inner voice does is that it picks up on all the imbalances and frequencies in your voice. So what we're going to do is we're going to record a 10-second audio. So, and the most important thing that Claudia is going to start with is saying, I am. So she's going to say, I am. She's going to say her name. And then whatever she speaks about after that is totally irrelevant, because all we're looking for is the frequencies. And what I'm going to be showing you this today as well. I'm going to share the screen. And so what we're looking for, it's going to generate a report. And this report is going to show us. So yes, she's going to be bearing all what's going on with her. Yeah, it's going to pick up on all her emotions. So it's going to generate a report that shows what the frequencies are, and it's going to also generate four balancing audios for her, which I'm going to send to her, which she can listen to at her leisure. And then I don't know if you've heard of Savaggio music. It's got that tone behind the music. Where you go into YouTube and you can find all this frequency music. If you listen, you can hear a continuous tone. That's the kind of music that the audios that Claudia is going to get, but it's going to be specific to her because it's going to be generated according to her, what has been picked up, so her emotions. So that's exactly what it is. So if I can share my screen. Let's have a look. Can pick up on this. So you should be able to see the AO scan. So I've already got Claudia uploaded. I've already input her details. So there's a few details before we do the scan that I need from you in order to make this happen. Now, what Claudia is going to do, as I've mentioned before, she's going to speak for 10 seconds. So I'm going to go through what I'm doing. So as you can see, there's a number of scans I can do. So if I just briefly share with you what each scan does. So the quick scan is the one I use on myself every single morning. It's brilliant. There's a number of things you can do in there. So say if I was to give Claudia a quick scan and send it to her, I can give her something in the morning, midday, evening, or I can custom scan. You also can do animals on here as well. So you've got your little dog. you could literally send frequencies to your dog as well. You can do clearing and shielding, and you can give yourself 3-minute boosts as well. So that's just to give you an overview of what this quick scan is. The easy scan is just a combination of inner voice, vitals, and comprehensive. Now, I've briefly mentioned what the inner voice is. The vitals, that's like your blood work, if you like. So that's going to show nutrition, some your omega-3 fats. You know, it goes across all that, across the board when it comes to that. This thing scans so many systems in the body. I mean, there's not a stone that's left unturned. You've got your chromosomes and everything. Yeah, wow. Yeah, your chakras and your meridians, because I know you'll be interested in the chakras. I'll probably do Claudia's chakras later, so she can have a look at how she could possibly use that in what she does. The vitals, I like to say that's your X-ray, and the comprehensive, that's more or less your MRI. The body systems is just a complement to all those 3 other scans, but I'm not going to go too much into those because we're more or less interested in the inner voice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the inner voice, and then what I'm going to do up here on the top left, you see that? I'm going to click on that, and then what's going to happen is then Claudia is going to speak for 10 seconds. You're going to have a countdown, and then once that countdown completes, it's going to generate your report, and I'll send your report to you. And that's one thing I always do straight away, just so I got that done and you have those reports. All right, so, and then as you can see, everything's blank at the moment. And we're going to have the top 3 frequencies, and then it's going to send us the supportive frequencies, with the lowest frequency being down there. And the lowest frequency is the emotions that we tend to suppress the most. All right, that's what that is. All right, so you're all set?
I think so.
Perfect. So what I want you to do, the microphone is just there. So when it counts down, I and Claudia then speak about whatever it is you want to. Okay, you good to go?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
So I am Claudia.
Go.
I am Claudia Chapman. I'm a women's empowerment coach, and I have just launched my new transformational Find Your Inner Goddess transformational program.
That's it. See, so there's your reports. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click there, and then I'm going to email that to you. So I'll stop sharing I'm going to pause the share at a second. So just so I can send Claudia her.
Would you like me to look?
So yeah, you can check to make sure you've got that, and then I'm going to resume the share. So when Claudia checks, she should have that come through. May take a second.
Wait a moment.
Hopefully you get them, because you did verify, didn't you?
Yes, here it is.
Got it? Yeah, so that's your report. So if you look, so if you could literally play those now, because as you can see, you've got the top 3 frequencies, and it goes by the numbers up here. All right. So you can see that your lowest frequency is D.
Okay.
A bit D, yes, just D, which is here.
Is that the root?
We can go down with your. If we scroll all the way down, it's going to give you a whole explanation.
Right.
You've got the entire report, so you can look over this.
Okay.
So it shows you what it is, how inner voice works, and essentially, if you go down, so you can see here, it records your voice and analyzes 12 notes across 9 octaves. All right, so, and then it focuses on the 3 high notes that are excessively out of balance. So you can see what yours are, or being represented, as well as the lowest note that's being suppressed. So that's what I've just explained to you. So I won't show the entire report, but I'll just show some of it. So essentially, I don't use these glasses here, as you can see. You can use these glasses because this comes as colours. So if you're into, anyone's into colours, just scroll back up, you can see the corresponding colours. So when you listen to the balancing audios, you could literally put the glasses on for 15 minutes and listen to those as well. You wear each one for 50 minutes a day, depending on what colours, but I don't use those, so I won't go on about those too much. So essentially, your higher frequencies was F sharp, A sharp, A, and then G sharp. And then your balancing audios, if I scroll back up, as you can see, these are your, which would be C, E, D sharp, and D. All right. So you can listen to those at your leisure. And so this is essentially what some of these frequencies mean. So the F sharp is, this is what the emotion is angry versus accepting of change. Now, don't worry, it doesn't mean you've got one or the other. What we need to have is a balance of everything, because in this life, we need the balance of everything. Mm-hmm. Everything, it's like one of those scales. You don't want too much of one thing and you don't want too little of something else. You just want the scales of balance to be there. And as I've already mentioned, as we know, the world we live in is very unbalanced, which causes a lot of low vibrational energy. So this is a good way to start picking that energy up, because a lot of us don't focus on the energetics, we focus on the physical. So if we could get more of the energetic stuff, I can tell you this world will shift into a much more positive
Absolutely.
place. Yeah. So do you have any questions thus far?
So this is the corresponding note F. So that's what I had most of. No.
Essentially, let me scroll back up again.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So all
G.
your top 3 frequencies were F sharp, sorry, A sharp, and A.
Okay.
All right. So the supported frequencies for those octaves, if you like, is C, E, and D sharp. All right. So what we're saying is that when it comes to explaining what each of those letters mean, this is essentially is. So F sharp is meaning angry versus accepting of change. That means there's a conflict there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all that means.
Right.
It doesn't mean it doesn't. Don't read too much into it. It's just that it recognizes that there's that within.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it gives you the positive emotions for F sharp, and then it gives you the negative emotions. So again, we just want a balance of the two. So if you were to do this every single day, say if you send me a voice note every single, I literally could send you the audios every day.
Do they change?
They do change according to what's going on.
Where you're at in the day.
Exactly. Okay. So say for instance, you've done some meditation. That literally could change because you've done that meditation.
Right.
Yeah.
So it changes daily.
It does, or it may not. It just depends. It just depends. Right, because this is only one aspect of it. It also is to do with the physicality as well, your nutrition, what's going on, whether you're stressed out, whether your kids are driving you crazy or something like that, you see. So if we go to the next, and then you can see then the supportive color, the supportive note for that is C. So that will correspond with one of the audios that you've been sent. And then you've got the supportive color is red. And then red supports strength, power, determination, passion, design, and metabolism. So you don't even need, you wouldn't even need something like glasses, even if you wore something like red, like I've got my wrap on today.
So that's the things that would help me to balance. But it's interesting that those are the things that I would those are the things that I would naturally use to describe me, like as a Leo, as quite a upfront person, you know, the strength and the power, determination, passion. It's quite interesting. Desire.
Yes.
Those are the things that I would say are my stronger points. So it's interesting that those are the things that I need to look for the support in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And then you got the next one. Remember, you've got all these reports.
Yeah. Okay.
So
right,
look at them at your leisure.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
I think if anybody's going to understand it, is you.
Yeah,
Because of the work
okay.
you do.
Yeah.
So essentially, this one is your A sharp. So it's rigid beliefs versus open to possibilities. So then you've got the positive emotions in that, and then the negative emotions. So remember, what we're looking for is a balance between the two. We don't want too much positivity, you know,
No.
rah rah, because that can
Yeah.
send you spiraling into the negative, and we don't want that.
So is that just saying that those are the two things, or is it saying that I need to address the balance in those two things?
You don't need to get so overly thing where you're thinking, oh my goodness, I need to focus on this. Just listen to the audios.
Yeah.
That's why you've got the audios, because that will sort
it's presencing it. It's presencing
exactly.
it. And saying, hello, I haven't witnessed of this, because all the work that we're doing together is about noticing, witnessing, and acknowledging, and not judging it. And that's basically what you're saying as
absolutely.
well. If you're saying this is just giving you some pointers at where you're at right now, and that to be aware of.
Yeah. Exactly. Because there's always things that's going to influence us on an emotional, mental, and spiritual level. So the body will always aim to be in homeostasis.
Yeah,
that's its primary goal. So the great thing about this is that is exactly what it's trying to do. It's helping you by showing you, because a lot of us have learned, we've forgotten how to read our bodies. Some of women aren't very intuitive. It's not that's a dig, it's just that we've lost that ability to be intuitive. So while we're working on getting that back, this is going to help tremendously. Right.
See? So, yeah, it's good. Okay, pointers. Yeah, yes. I mean that's all very much, you know, my women are working on as well. Is listening to the somatic, listening to the body. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, and so that's essentially what the inner voice is. And then you can see you've got the supportive colour, which is yellow, and there's clarity, energy, optimism, enlightenment, intelligent, honor, loyalty, enjoy. So you'll begin to read that and you think, oh yeah, there's maybe areas that are more of that and maybe less of that, and maybe I'm going to use those audios to help uplift whatever's maybe suppressed. Yeah, makes sense. Yep. And then you've got this one as well, low esteem versus self-accepting. So is this beginning to make some sense to you? You know, ask me if you've got any questions. It's interesting, low self-esteem. Yeah, because that's not something I would naturally describe myself as, but it's interesting that it's presencing it. And yeah, because sometimes what I find about this scan is that it tends to highlight things that we're not even aware of. Yeah, the interesting about deep connection to mother, that's been something that's been really coming up for me, like really, that's really present itself. This weekend in the full moon, I had a whole piece around my mothering and my acceptance of my mothering, and then it brought up around my acceptance of my own mother. And like, so for me, it's interesting that it talks about the mother and the mother wound. It doesn't say wound, but yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah. It's very accurate, I have to say, very accurate. It's brilliant. And then one of the last ones is the suppressed emotional versus self-expression. Right. Now, to me, you come across as somebody who's quite confident, very expressive. So you've got all the positive emotions, but also you've also got the suppressed. I can see that. I mean, fear of confrontation, of expressing emotions may lead to rejection. Absolutely. And rejection and abandonment issues, there's still things that come up as the inner child work that I do. That comes up for me. That's a big part of my development and my own self-development. That's really true. And it's a may result in frustration, discouragement, lack of self-approval, apprehension. That can come up when I try and move forward into things. Yeah, that comes up. You know, how can I move on ahead, i.e. like with the program, having to overcome those things, may continue trying to fix others. Interesting, because we're just talking about the drama triangle and rescuing and fixing others. Yeah, being aware of that when that comes up. Interesting, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and then you've got the supportive note, which is D, which you'll have in your audio. Then the orange, so you can wear orange, because I mean, I know about a little about colours, but you may be more aware of colours than I am. So you know the influence colours can have as well, because there's nothing worse when you see lots of people wearing black, because or carrying a black umbrella, which is you know, which you see people a lot. It's nice.
In black, but I have been trying to come out of it, but it's interesting how the orange is in there, because the orange is actually the work that you do around the womb area. It's a sacral.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's your report. So that's just one aspect of the inner voice. And what I'll do, let me just stop sharing for a second. So yes, you'll have that. So that's just one area of the scan that we do. But like I said, probably off screen we'll do the chakras for you.
Okay.
And then you can see what comes up there.
Okay, very interesting. I mean, maybe we can record it and then we can decide after whether we send it out to my client. But I don't really have anything to hide, so maybe we'll do that and then we can send it out. But I mean, it's been really interesting, and yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to go further into it. So where can people find you? You know, if you can just tell everyone where they can find you, and then also I will link your email address and your website.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Like my email, you can email me on it's valeriemckenn@gmail.com. That's my old name. That's spelled MCKN. So it's Valerie McKenn, MCKEN@gmail.com. And you can also find me on LinkedIn as well.
And I'll send out all the details.
Yeah,
I'll send out the details with
perfect.
So if we whet your appetite today into having these body scans and understanding a little bit more about our emotional intelligence, as it were, and where we're at, then this has been really interesting. Maybe we can anything else to add?
Yeah. There's one thing I wanted to offer for your clients in terms of the nutrition side to this, especially if they're dealing with any kind of womb issue.
Yes.
I can deal with just the nutrition side. So what I'd like to offer them is like a month-long program where they can get one scan a week, and for the first 3 weeks, and then the last scan is that's when we develop a nutritional plan for them. And also to throw in as a bonus for them, if they've got either an ancestry or 23andMe DNA, what the you know, if they had that done, their DNA chart done, I can assess that to come up with a nutritional and lifestyle plan based on their DNA in addition to this. So they're going to get a full assessment so that there will be nothing left that won't know about their own bodies.
Do you do that scan, the DNA scan, or can they get it?
No, they'll need to go to 23andMe or Ancestry to get that done. And I'm going to throw that in because I'm still learning about it.
Right.
So I'm going to throw that in as a bonus for them.
Great, that's absolutely fascinating. This is the first time that I've ever had a scan like this, or even delved into the sort of computerized way of reading energy. So this is really fascinating. So it's an absolute pleasure. And just to say that you're saying that you're going to do a nutritional plan, but you really concentrate on the reproduction. Like that's your focus, is that the sacral chakra is like the reproductive area for women, to find out, to clear the body ready for maybe reproduction, because I have quite a lot of younger ladies on my program who'd be really interested in this, I would think, to clear out their reproductive energy in the sacral chakra so that they're ready, or when they will be ready to maybe have children in the future.
Yeah.
And then equally, I have women who are in menopause that might want to have that that clearing done in the sacral chakra, because everything, let's be honest, comes from the sacral chakra, in terms of we need our sexual energy to still be, our tantric energy to still be alive
Absolutely.
in our post-menopause years,
Absolutely.
to drive our creativity and to like drive our essence. So I think it's great for either end to have you know, this ability to clear out the wound system through nutrition and understanding. So
Yeah.
thank you so
You're
much,
welcome.
Valerie.
You're welcome.
And I look forward to having my chakra scan now, and I might share it with you a bit later.
Yeah.
We'll record it on one side. So that's lovely. Thank you so
You're
much for
welcome.
joining me. I
You're
really
most
appreciate
welcome.
it.
You're welcome.
Lovely. I think we'll stop.